Life is not chaos. It is a game, governed by spiritual laws, directed by thought, and won by those who understand the rules. This is not a game of chance. This is a game of alignment. Your words are your strategy. Your faith is your power, and your destiny. It's already waiting for you to claim it. This is the game of life, and this is how to master it. 1. Life responds to your words. Every word you speak is a command. The universe does not judge, it echoes. Speak success, and success finds you. Speak fear, and fear surrounds you. Your words are not small. They are containers of power. Every sentence you speak, especially those you repeat, becomes a blueprint for the life you build. Life is not responding to what you hope for. Life is responding to what you say. You don't just describe reality, you create it. When you say, "I never catch a break," life aligns situations where breaks are missed. When you say, "I always find a way," life conspires to make that true. Your life mirrors your language. It echoes the atmosphere your words create. Words are seeds. Think of every word you speak as a seed planted in the soil of the unseen. The moment it leaves your mouth, it begins to grow. You may not see it immediately, but it's active. If you keep speaking negativity, fear, and limitation, you grow a harvest of struggle. If you speak life, power, and abundance, you grow a harvest of breakthrough. Words are not just sounds, they are spiritual instructions. What you act upon creates momentum, and momentum creates reality. So it all starts with your mouth. Want to change your life? Change your language. Replace "this always happens to me" with "something better is on the way." Replace "I'm broke" with "I'm expecting divine provision." You are not powerless. You are not behind. You are a speaker of truth, and your voice activates creation. They prophesy their own delay, and then wonder why things don't shift. "I'm tired of this life. I'll never be happy. I always mess things up." Those statements may feel casual, but spiritually, they are contracts. Stop signing contracts with struggle. Break agreements with limitation. Speak only what you want echoed, and then it replays those words back as your experiences. You don't have to be perfect, just consistent. This doesn't mean you'll never speak out of frustration, but catch yourself quickly. Reverse what you've said. If you speak worry, follow it with truth. If you speak fear, follow it with faith. "I'm overwhelmed, but I know strength is rising in me. I'm unsure, but clarity is on its way. I feel pressure, but I trust that all things are working for good." And then they align their lives with that vision. "I attract right people and divine opportunities. I speak what I want, and I receive it in time. Every word I speak moves me toward the life I desire." Faith doesn't have to be big, just spoken. Spoken. Speak then act. Speaking is the first move, but action is the agreement. Once you speak it, act like it. Carry yourself like it's already yours. Make plans like the provision is already on the way. Prepare as if the opportunity is arriving next week. Because you don't speak to wish, you speak to call things into alignment. "Let there be light" was not a suggestion, it was a command. Speak like your words matter, because in the game of life, they rewrote your language daily. Each day, check your speech. What words dominated your day? Were they based in fear or faith? Did they align with the life you want or the life you're trying to escape? Every day is a chance to re-script your story. Don't speak as a victim, speak as a creator. You are not at the mercy of life. You are in conversation with it, and your words are the dialogue of destiny. Final declaration for step 1. My words are powerful. I speak life, not lack. I speak progress, not pause. I speak healing, not harm. I speak solutions, not struggle. Every word I speak carries energy, and I use it to create joy, peace, wealth, and purpose. I do not curse my future with careless talk. I command my future with clarity, strength, and faith. Because in the game of life, your mouth is not a microphone, it is a steering wheel, and every word moves you closer to your destiny, or further from it. So speak with power, speak with vision, speak like your life is listening, because thoughts are seed tays. Every thought you hold is planting your future. Hold it long enough, and it takes root. Think in terms of joy, success, healing, and peace. Your outer world is simply your inner world in disguise. If your words are the commands of your life, then your thoughts are the seedbed of reality. Every action begins with a thought. Every failure was once imagined. Every breakthrough was once visualized. The world you live in is a mirror of what you've been mentally rehearsing over and over and over again. The question is not, am I planting? The question is, what am I planting? And you can't sow fear all week and expect to reap peace. You can't nurture thoughts of lack and expect a harvest of abundance. You can't repeat mental images of failure and hope for unstoppable success. Your outer life is a harvest, and your thoughts are the root of that harvest. Thoughts have creative power. What you continually think about, you begin to feel. What you feel, you move toward. What you move toward becomes habit, and what becomes habit shapes your life. If you hold a thought long enough, it becomes a belief, and beliefs build your internal world, which determines your external experience. That is why your most valuable mental work is not reacting to life, but directing your thoughts before life even happens. Twirl, be the watcher at the gate. Most people live on autopilot. They don't think intentionally, they recycle the same thoughts every day. Old fears, old limits, old self-talk, like a playlist on repeat. But to master the game of life, you must become the guardian of your mind. Watch what enters. Question what stays, remove what no longer serves you. Don't just think because thoughts appear. Choose which ones you water. But repetition, that's a river. When you think the same idea over and over again, you carve grooves in your brain, like a path. Your brain begins to assume that thought is normal, even if it's negative. That's why people who constantly think they're not good enough often behave in ways that confirm it, not because it's true but because it's familiar. You must be willing to overwrite the old mental programming with a new empowering script. That takes repetition, patience, and intention. How begin planting new thoughts? Awareness. Catch your habitual thoughts during quiet moments. Challenge. Ask, is this thought serving my highest self? Replace. Speak or think the opposite truth immediately. Visualize. See the version of you that holds that new thought with confidence. Reinforce. Use affirmations, journaling, or meditation to install the new belief. Example, old thought, nothing ever works out for me. Replaced with, I am supported by unseen forces. Everything is working in my favor, even when I can't see it. Hold that thought long enough, and it becomes a force. Your thoughts attract similar thoughts. Like attracts like, not just in people but in thought. When you start thinking about your goals, your purpose, and your peace, your brain begins to pull similar thoughts into your awareness. Suddenly, the ideas flow. Opportunities appear. Your energy shifts, not because life magically changed, but because you did. You stepped out of the energy of fear and into the frequency of faith. Kickless thoughts guide direction. Where your mind goes, your life follows. A person who constantly thinks about failure will subconsciously sabotage success when it comes. Why? Because their internal world is not aligned with success. But someone who rehearses abundance in their mind moves through the world differently. They carry confidence. They make bold decisions. They notice aligned opportunities. They expect good, and so they find. You're never just thinking. You're always moving toward the content of your thoughts. Don't fight the thought. Replace it. Trying to stop a negative thought often gives it more energy. Instead of resisting it, redirect. If a thought of fear enters, replace it with a declaration of faith. If a thought of jealousy arises, replace it with gratitude for what is already yours. If a thought of doubt appears, replace it with a mental image of the best-case scenario. Remember, your brain will believe what you repeat, not what you resist. Key practice. Thought audit. Once a day, ask yourself, what did I think about most today? Did those thoughts expand or shrink my vision? Write them down. Challenge them. Reverse them. Don't be a passive thinker. Be a purposeful sower. Your mind is the blueprint. Before a house is built, a blueprint is drawn. Before any outer success appears, it must be fully formed in your mind. So visualize not with desperation, but with certainty. See yourself whole, abundant, confident, at peace, doing what you love with ease and joy. Hold those images. Feel them. Think them daily. You are not fantasizing, you are planting your future. Final declaration for step 2. My thoughts are powerful. I do not borrow fear from yesterday or stress from tomorrow. I plant thoughts of peace, progress, and purpose. I am the gardener of my mind. I choose thoughts that align with the life I desire. I feed faith. I water joy. I harvest success. Because in the game of life, your thoughts are the quiet architects of your destiny. They build the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. Choose your thoughts with intention, because once planted, they will grow. 3. Faith is the game changer. Faith isn't wishing, faith is knowing, long before you see. It's the bridge between what is and what's meant to be. It's the bridge between what is and what's meant to be. In the spiritual game of life, there is one force that activates everything else: faith. Faith is not something fragile or distant. It is not passive. It is a choice. Faith is trusting the unseen more than the seen. It is believing that what you've planted will grow, even before there's a single sprout. Most people wait to believe until the evidence shows up. But in this game, that's not how it works. The law is clear: believe first, then receive. Faith is not hoping in the best while fearing the worst. It is standing boldly in expectation, even when the world says otherwise. It is saying, I don't need to see it to believe it. I believe it, so I'll see. Faith makes you magnetic. When you carry faith, your energy changes. You no longer beg or chase, you attract. Faith is a vibration, and the universe responds to it without delay. People feel your certainty. Doors open without your effort. Ideas flow. Provision arrives. Why? Because faith is alignment. When your thoughts, words, and energy are all in agreement with what you desire, faith becomes a creative force. Doubt is a detour. Every time you say, I want it, but every time you ask, what if it doesn't work out? Every time you replay old failures in your mind, you are disconnecting from faith and reconnecting with fear. Doubt blocks. It interrupts the signal. But faith clears the static. It reattaches you to the flow of divine guidance and provision. You cannot walk in faith and fear at the same time. You must choose one. Even if your faith feels small, choose it, because faith the size of a mustard seed can still move mountains. Faith requires no proof. The world says, I'll believe it when I see it, but the game of life responds to the opposite. You'll see it when you believe it. Faith lives in the invisible. It trusts the laws of the spirit more than the logic of the world. It says, I am guided, even if I don't know the next step. I am chosen, even if I feel overlooked. This is not delusion, this is alignment. Gitgipless, how to strengthen your faith. Just like a muscle, faith can be strengthened. Here's how to build it daily. Bulls. Fake it before you see it. Declare what you believe is yours, not timidly, but boldly. Buntly. Visualize the outcome. Spend time seeing the end result in detail. Feel it, taste it, own it in your imagination. Act in faith. Take the first step before the path is complete. Move as if the provision is already in place. Ignore the how. Let go of the mechanics. Your job is the what and why. The divine handles the how. Surround yourself with faith speakers. Distance yourself from doubters and complainers. Stay close to people who speak life, not limitation. Keep a record of miracles. Write down past breakthroughs. Remind yourself, if it happened before, it can happen again. Faith is a language. Faith has its own vocabulary. It speaks differently. Where fear says, what if I fail? Faith says, what if this works better than I imagined? Where fear says, I'm not ready, faith says, I'm being prepared. Where fear says, there's not enough, faith says, my source is unlimited. Speak the language of faith, and watch the world shift around you. Even when you feel scared, you can still move in faith. Even when nothing looks right, you can still hold the vision. Faith doesn't ask, do I feel confident today? Faith says, what would the version of me who already has this do today? Then it acts accordingly. Faith reflects identity. Your level of faith reflects your belief in yourself, not your outer self, but your spiritual self. The part of you that knows, you are not alone, you are divinely guided, you are fully supported, you are already enough. Faith is remembering your true identity, even when circumstances lie to you. And when you act from that identity, you don't need evidence, because you become the evidence. Walk by faith, not sight. Sight is limited, it only shows what is. Faith shows what can be and what already is in the unseen. When you walk by sight, when you walk by faith, you create. The more you lean into what you cannot see, the more powerful your steps become. Even when it's unclear, Take the step, even when it's delayed. Stay ready, even when others doubt. Stand firm. You do not need to convince others, you only need to convince your inner world. Unshakable Success. Faith is the gateway to miracles. Breakthroughs don't come to the most qualified, they come to the most certain. Miracles do not follow logic, they follow alignment, and faith is that alignment. The moment you stop rehearsing fear and start rehearsing fulfillment, you give heaven permission to move on your behalf. Final declaration for step 3. I walk by faith, not by fear. My belief shapes my reality. I trust divine timing, even in silence. I move boldly, even in uncertainty. I know provision is already prepared. What I desire is already on the way, and I meet it with unwavering faith. Because in the game of life, faith is not optional. It is the currency of the unseen, and when you spend it, the universe responds. 4. Act as if it's already done. Don't wait for the door to open. Walk like you already passed through it. Don't wait for proof. Live like the promise is fulfilled. One of the most powerful spiritual laws in the game of life is this: you must act in agreement with what you believe. Faith without aligned action is like a light bulb without electricity. It has potential but no power. This step isn't about faking it until you make it. It's about embodying the version of you that already has what you asked for. It's about moving through the world as though your desire is already real. Because in the spiritual realm, it already is. Action is agreement. Every time you take a step that aligns with your vision, you are casting a vote for your future. Think of your desire like a package already shipped. Faith is the tracking number. But action is what gets you to the door when it arrives. If you say you believe but act like you're unsure, you're sending mixed signals to the universe. If you want wealth but think and act like you're broke, you're not aligned with the energy of abundance. If you want love but continue treating yourself with unworthiness, you're not aligned with the vibration of receiving love. Your actions must reflect your belief, because life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you're prepared to walk in. Behave like the door is open. Most people wait to feel ready before they move. They wait for the opportunity. They wait for the clarity. They wait for the applause. But the game of life rewards those who move before they see the full picture. You must walk like the door is already open. You don't ask permission, you assume alignment. This isn't arrogance, it's spiritual intelligence. It's trusting that once the seed is planted, your only job is to act like the harvest is on the way. Step into the identity of already done. If you had already received the breakthrough, how would you carry yourself? The version of you who already has the result doesn't stress over outcomes. They make decisions from clarity, not confusion. From peace, not pressure. So ask yourself every day, what would the version of me who already received this do today? And then do that. Acting as if rewires your mind. When you begin to live as if your desire is real, your brain rewires itself to support that reality. This is neuroplasticity in motion. Your nervous system begins to normalize the new identity. It no longer feels foreign, it feels familiar. This is why walking in your vision is not delusion, it's creation. You're no longer reacting to life. You're rehearsing the version of life you've chosen. And repetition is what turns a possibility into a personality. Align your environment. If you're truly acting as if it's already done, your environment should reflect it. That means, clear out what no longer fits the next level. Make space in your calendar, closet, or workspace. Speak with the tone of a person who knows their worth. Surround yourself with people who treat your dreams as normal, not impossible. Your external space should mirror your internal reality. Because action is not just motion, it's declaration. The law of assumption in motion. When you act from your desired outcome instead of your current situation, you activate what's called the law of assumption. This means, you assume it's already working. You assume you are already aligned. You assume what you need is on its way. And because energy follows focus, your assumptions start shaping your world. Doors open because you expect them to. People respond differently because your energy is different. Life bends in your favor because you no longer resist common mistakes to avoid waiting for confidence before taking action. Truth. Action builds confidence, not the other way around. Confusing movement with alignment. Don't just stay busy. Do what aligns with your desired outcome. Talking yourself out of intuitive steps, your higher self knows the way. Trust those inner nudges. Acting from fear instead of faith. Faith-based action expands. Fear-based action drain. A simple exercise. Already me. Practice. Each morning ask, if it was already done, how would I think today? How would I speak? What would I let go of? What would I confidently pursue? Write it down, then live it out. One day, then two, then a week, until your reality bends to match your belief. You are not waiting, you're preparing. Many confuse waiting with passivity, but in the spiritual life, waiting is preparation. It's getting in position before the spotlight hits. Walking like it's yours because it is. You're just aligning with the timing. When you act as if it's done, you're not chasing the result. You're becoming the person who naturally receives it. And that's when the shift happens. Final declaration for step 4. I no longer wait for permission to live in alignment. I walk in the energy of completion. I act from the identity of fulfillment. My actions reflect my highest vision. I speak, move, and live as though it is already done. Because in truth, in the game of life, success doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It responds when you show up as if you're already there. Because life moves in the direction of your deepest assumption. And when your actions reflect belief, the result can no longer be withheld. 5. Your words are commands. Every word you speak is a seed. Speak from fear, and you grow weeds. Speak from faith, and you harvest miracles. They shape outcomes, bend circumstances, and release spiritual forces that respond to one thing: what you declare. You are never just talking, you are creating. Every word you speak is either a command to fear or to faith. It's either confirming a truth or reinforcing a lie. Words are not reflections of life, they are the designers of life. Mouth. Words are laws in motion. Words are spiritual laws turned audible. When you speak, you activate forces far greater than emotion or mood. You either permit or deny power in your life. Saying "I always struggle" is not a harmless complaint. It's a contract, one you signed with your own tongue. Saying "I'm not lucky in relationships" is not a casual comment, it's an invitation for patterns of rejection to return. The universe doesn't understand sarcasm. It responds to repetition and emotional charge. Your words shape your world. If you want to change your outer life, change your inner language first. Your voice sets the tone. Imagine your voice like a tuning fork. What you speak, you attune to. Speak in anger, and you attune your life to conflict. Speak in doubt, and you attract more reasons to second guess. Speak in gratitude, and you start magnetizing peace. Speak in confidence, and life meets you with favor. Your life rises or falls to the tone you set with your voice. The same breath that carries defeat can also carry destiny if you choose different words. Speak the end result, not the problem. When something isn't working, most people talk about the problem. They describe it, analyze it, repeat it, and complain about it. But the law is simple: what you focus on expands. So instead of feeding the issue with your words, you must feed the solution. Speak where you're going, not where you are. Instead of "I never meet the right person," say "the right connection is finding me now." I always get stuck, say "clarity and momentum are mine today." This isn't blind optimism, this is intentional creation. Dean. Words shape belief. The most important person who hears you speak is you. Your subconscious mind records everything you say, especially with emotion. It accepts it as instruction. If you say "I'm so tired," your body agrees. If you say "I can't do this," your mind stops looking for solutions. If you say "nothing works for me," your energy closes off opportunity. But if you say "I am capable, I always find a way, things are shifting in my favor," you begin to rewire belief systems that were once built on fear. Guard your mouth like a gate. You wouldn't leave your front door wide open in a storm. You wouldn't let a thief walk into your home and stay. But many people let damaging words escape their mouths daily, inviting fear, doubt, limitation, and lack to live rent-free in their reality. Your words are your gate. Guard them. If something isn't true, noble, uplifting, or empowering, don't say it. If you wouldn't want it to become real, don't declare it. Your words are like blueprints. Speak only what you're ready to build. Repetition equals programming. The more you repeat something, the deeper it becomes embedded. This is how affirmations work, not because of magic, but because repetition rewires reality. Start each day declaring who you are and what you desire, as if it's already happening. Don't just whisper it, command it. Say it with the authority of someone who knows they're not begging the universe, they're partnering with it. Examples of power declarations. Try saying these out loud daily. My words carry power, and I choose them wisely. Everything I speak, in faith, comes to pass. My voice is a magnet for miracles. I release lack and speak abundance. I command peace, progress, and prosperity into my life. The more you speak truth, the more you dismantle lies that used to run your life. Your voice changes atmospheres. Think of a powerful speaker who enters a room. Without touching anything physically, they shift the entire space. Why? Because words carry frequency. Your words change atmospheres, internally and externally. Speak peace, and your home begins to reflect it. Speak prosperity, and your ideas begin to multiply. Speak healing, and your body starts aligning with health. This is not coincidence, it's spiritual law in action. Silence is not always neutral. Some people think saying nothing is safe, but silence can also be agreement with fear, pain, or limitation. There are moments when you must speak anyway. When fear says, "You'll never make it," you must answer back, "I'm not finished yet, and I don't lose." When doubt creeps in, "I've already won in the spirit, I just haven't caught up to it yet." Use your words to fight for your vision. Don't let the enemy talk louder than your destiny. Your voice is a tool of manifestation. You don't manifest by wishing. You manifest by declaring, then aligning. Speaking it brings clarity. Clarity brings courage. Courage brings momentum. Momentum brings manifestation. It all begins with your voice. When your words match your vision, the world has no choice but to rise and meet them. Final declaration for step 5. I speak life, not limitation. I speak progress, not problems. I speak from my future, not my fear. My voice is my creative power. My words are commands, and I choose them with purpose. In the divine game of life, you don't wait to see it before you speak it. You speak it, then you see it. Because every time you open your mouth in faith, you remind the universe who you are and what you're here to build. So speak boldly. Speak truth. Speak like it's already done, because your words are the first step to your next miracle. 6. Gratitude is your multiplier. What you thank the universe for expands. Gratitude doesn't follow blessings, it causes them. Gratitude is more than politeness, more than manners, more than a spiritual nice to have. Gratitude is a multiplier. It takes what is small and makes it great. It takes what is unseen and brings it into form. In the divine game of life, gratitude is the force that activates increase. When you practice thankfulness, not just occasionally, but consistently, you tap into a spiritual frequency that amplifies everything around you, the energy of increase. Everything in life is either expanding or contracting. Fear contracts, doubt delays, complaining clogs, but gratitude expands. Gratitude opens spiritual flow. It turns a trickle into a flood. It tells the universe, I recognize the good, and I'm ready for more. And the universe answers, more is on the way. You receive what you celebrate. The law is simple, what you appreciate, appreciates. If you constantly focus on lack, you magnetize more of it. If you fixate on what's missing, you amplify the feeling of emptiness. But if you celebrate the good, however small, you create a vibration that attracts more good. Gratitude is not about ignoring reality. It's about amplifying the parts of reality you want more of. Shift happens through thanks. Most people think breakthroughs come from grinding harder, working longer, pushing more. But spiritual breakthroughs often come not from doing, but from recognizing. Gratitude is spiritual recognition. It says, I already have enough to be joyful. I already carry seeds of abundance. I already walk in blessing, even if it hasn't fully bloomed. And that recognition shifts your reality. Suddenly, ideas flow, people call, doors open, not because you did more, but because you gave thanks for what was already in motion. Gratitude transforms your state instantly. When you're anxious, confused, or overwhelmed, you don't need to find a solution immediately. You need to find gratitude. Why? Because gratitude and anxiety can't exist in the same breath. Gratitude cuts off the oxygen of fear. It grounds you in the present. It reminds you that you're not starting from lack, you're starting from favor. Try this. Think of 3 things you're genuinely grateful for right now. Say them out loud. Feel the energy behind them. Let it fill your body. Watch your mind shift within seconds. This is emotional alchemy. Gene. Gratitude rewires the brain. Neuroscience now confirms what spiritual teachers have always said. Gratitude literally changes the brain. When you practice thankfulness consistently, you will reduce stress and cortisol levels, boost dopamine, the motivation hormone, strengthen your immune system, improve sleep, energy, and decision-making. Your brain becomes a magnet for what's working, not what's wrong. And what you focus on, you attract. Gekdulks. Gratitude clarifies what matters. In the game of life, distractions are everywhere. False desires, shallow goals, temporary wins. But gratitude brings you back to center. It reminds you of what truly holds value. Health over hustle, peace over possessions, purpose over popularity. When you're grounded in thanks, you make clearer choices. You stop chasing what doesn't align. You stop comparing your journey to others. Because you know, I already have what many are still searching for. I don't lack, I overflow. Use gratitude to call forth the future. Here's the twist that changes everything. Gratitude isn't just for what has happened, it's also for what's on the way. This is called preemptive thanks. It's a declaration of faith. You thank the universe not because you see it, but because you believe it's done. Try saying, "Thank you for the love and peace flowing into my life." This activates the law of assumption. Your gratitude becomes creative power. Daily gratitude ritual. Here's a simple practice to lock this into your life. Each morning or night, write down 3 things you're grateful for now. 3 things you're grateful for in advance. Make it a ritual, not a chore. Let it fill you with emotion. Feel the truth of it. Speak it out loud. Over time, you'll train your spirit to expect good, and the universe will respond in kind. Surface level thanks. I'm grateful for food, family, job, but with no emotion. Dig deeper. Feel it. Speak with intention. Negating gratitude with complaining. Saying I'm grateful in the morning, and complaining all day cancels the effect. Stay aware of your dominant tone. Get us. Final declaration for step 6. I live in the vibration of gratitude. I give thanks before I see results. I celebrate every sign of growth. I recognize the blessings already around me. What I thank multiplies. What I bless expands. My gratitude draws miracles closer every day. Get us. Gratitude is not a reaction, it's a strategy. It's the spiritual GPS that keeps you aligned with joy, abundance, and divine flow. When you live in thanks, you stop chasing what's next and start receiving what's now. So today, speak this. Thank you for this life. Thank you for what's coming. Thank you for the power to shape both. Because gratitude isn't a finish line, it's the beginning of every breakthrough. 7. Your inner world creates your outer world. The world you see is a mirror, reflecting the thoughts you think, the beliefs you carry, and the emotions you nurture. In the game of life, you are not a passive observer. You are the creator, and the true battlefield, it is not outside, it is within. If your inner world is ruled by fear, chaos, or scarcity, don't be surprised when your outer life reflects it. If your inner world is grounded in peace, purpose, and clarity, your external reality cannot help but align with that energy. The outer world is the canvas, but the brush, the paint, the image, it all starts inside you. The law of reflection. Life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Your relationships, your opportunities, your challenges, they are all responding to your vibration, which is a product of your inner beliefs, emotions, and expectations. If you constantly attract stress, ask, where in me is stress the default setting? If you keep experiencing rejection, ask, what story inside me is expecting it? The universe is not unfair, it's precise. It simply reflects who you believe you are, not what you wish to be. Belief is the blueprint. Every structure has a blueprint, and for your life, that blueprint is your belief system. If you believe money is hard to come by, you will repel wealth. If you believe love leads to pain, you will sabotage connection. If you believe life is against you, you will find evidence for it daily. But if you shift your belief, the blueprint changes. Believe that you're worthy of ease, watch doors open. Believe that you're favored, watch obstacles shrink. Believe that abundance is natural, watch it flow to you. Your outer world is simply a construction of your inner truth. Inner peace manifests outer order. Some people spend their entire lives fixing external situations, never realizing the root is internal. If your life feels chaotic, look within. If nothing flows smoothly, check your internal resistance. If opportunities keep slipping through your fingers, ask what part of you doubts your readiness. Peace begins inside. When you anchor yourself in inner calm, life becomes clearer. Choices become easier, and you stop reacting, you start creating. You can't build a peaceful life on a stormy mind. Your inner dialogue shapes reality. Most people speak kindly to others, but say things to themselves they'd never say aloud. I'm not good enough. Nothing works out for me. I'm always behind. I never get the break. These internal conversations are not harmless. They are commands, and the universe listens. Every time you repeat a disempowering inner thought, you reinforce a neural pathway. That pathway becomes a pattern. That pattern becomes your life. Shift the dialogue. Tell yourself what you'd tell someone you love. I'm doing better than I think. I'm worthy of more. Everything I need is within me. See it within first. Success is not an accident. It's a decision made long before the result shows up. Every inventor saw the idea in their mind first. Every leader visualized the outcome before it existed. Every game changer believed in the vision when no one else did. This is how life responds. You see it internally, hold it, believe it, and life shapes itself around your search. Don't wait to believe until the world confirms it. Believe until the world reflects it. That's not delusion, that's spiritual law. What you plant internally, you harvest externally. Thoughts are seeds, feelings are water, faith is sunlight, time is the soil. You don't plant seeds of fear and expect fruits of freedom. You don't plant doubt and reap peace. You don't plant resentment and harvest harmony. Whatever dominates your inner environment will show up sooner or later in your reality. So start planting new seeds, thoughts of possibility, feelings of confidence, assumptions of favor, imagery of success. Tend to your inner garden daily. That's where true wealth, peace, and joy begin. Break inner limits to break outer barriers. The biggest walls are not out there, they are in your mind. Before you can break records, you have to break beliefs. Before you can build wealth, you have to dismantle scarcity. Before you can love deeply, you have to heal old wounds. When your internal ceiling rises, your external results catch up quickly. If something always stops you, that's your invitation to go within, not to fight the world, but to free your mind. Stillness creates clarity. In the noise of life, clarity gets drowned out, but in silence, your true self whispers, and that whisper contains answers, solutions, and direction. Make stillness a practice. Each day, even for 10 minutes, disconnect, close your eyes, breathe, listen. You'll begin to hear your inner truth more clearly than the world's opinion. And the more you follow that truth, the more aligned your outer world becomes. Cubeless, how to transform your inner world daily. Here's a simple routine to transform your internal atmosphere. Morning intention. Today I choose clarity, peace, and power. Midday check-in. Ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this thought helping or hurting me? Evening reflection. Write down. Watch how your mindset elevates and your life follows. Final declaration for step 7. My inner world is my true source. I choose thoughts that align with peace and power. I speak life, love, and purpose into my being. I believe in what I cannot yet see. My energy creates my reality. I am the master of my inner world, and my outer world obeys. You can't change the mirror without changing the reflection. And you can't change your reality without first transforming your inner world. So today, instead of forcing change outside, start with, because when your inner light shines strong, no darkness in the world can overpower it. 8. Faith is your activation code. The universe responds to belief, not begging. It doesn't follow your words, it follows your certainty. Faith is not hope, it's not wishing, wanting, or waiting. Faith is knowing. It's a spiritual force that speaks one message to the universe. It is already done. In the game of life, Faith is your activation code. It turns possibility into reality. It unlocks paths unseen. It moves the invisible hand of divine order. What is faith, really? Faith is the spiritual conviction that something is real before you can touch it. It is confidence in the unseen, loyalty to the vision, and commitment to the outcome before the evidence shows up. Where doubt hesitates, faith moves. Where fear retreats, faith steps forward. Where logic says, wait, faith says, go. Faith doesn't require proof, it creates proof. Faith opens doors that logic can't. In life, many doors appear closed, opportunities blocked, people unresponsive, circumstances stuck, and that's when faith steps in, not to knock on the door, but to walk through walls. Faith doesn't play by human rules, it bends timelines, it redirects outcomes, it creates alignment in ways the mind can't predict. You don't have to understand how it will happen, you just have to know that it will. Faith sends a signal. The universe is like a broadcasting tower. It responds to frequency, and faith is a high, powerful frequency. It transmits confidence, trust, alignment. When you carry faith, your energy says, I am already one with the solution. I am not chasing, I am attracting. I do not doubt, I declare. And that signal draws back into your life everything that matches it. Tirgdul's faith directs your choices. Faith isn't passive. It's not something you feel during meditation and forget by midday. Real faith shapes your behavior. If you believe the outcome is certain, you will show up boldly, speak with power, take aligned risks, say no to what doesn't fit, stay calm when others panic. Faith becomes your internal compass. It allows you to take the next step, even when you can't see the full staircase. Doubt delays, faith delivers. Every moment, you're either feeding faith or feeding fear. There is no neutral. Doubt keeps asking, what if it doesn't work? Faith affirms, what if it already has? Doubt slows the process. It clouds your vision. It keeps the energy stuck. But faith creates momentum. It tells the universe, I'm ready. And the universe responds, then so am I. Dang. Rewire for faith, not fear. Faith isn't just spiritual, it's neurological. When you repeat faith-based thoughts, you reduce stress responses, boost resilience, increase motivation, enhance decision-making under pressure. Every day, you're programming your mind. Ask yourself, am I rehearsing worst-case scenarios, or am I reinforcing divine certainty? Choose thoughts that support what you desire, not what you fear. Faith is built, not bought. Nobody is born with unshakable faith. It is built through experience. Each time you trust when it's hard. Each time you persist without evidence. Each time you speak abundance when lack surrounds you. You're training your spirit to default to trust. Faith grows like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Start small. Believe in small miracles. Speak positive outcomes in little things. And soon, your mind will default to divine certainty, even in the storm. Faith in action. Real examples, but you send it with faith that the right door will open. You invest in the idea, not with blind hope, but with the deep knowing that alignment beats logic. You let go of the past, not because it's easy, but because you believe your future is worth. Faith is not just belief, it's belief backed by action. Daily practice to build faith. Here's a daily routine to strengthen your spiritual certainty. 1. Speak a faith declaration, out loud. I believe in the unseen. I trust divine timing. I act as if it's already mine. Visualize the end result. Spend 5 minutes picturing your dream as already done. Feel the emotion. See the details. Let it sink in. 3. Take one small faith-backed action. Call, apply, create, invest, speak. Do something that reflects your belief in the outcome. Detach from outcome. Release control. Say, it's handled. I am in alignment. I rest in trust. Repeat this for 21 days. Watch your external world shift. Corals, common myths about faith. Faith means doing nothing. False. Faith inspires aligned action, not laziness. I can't have faith and still feel doubt. You can feel fear, but still choose faith. Faith is not the absence of fear, it's moving anyway. Faith guarantees everything will go how I want. No. Faith guarantees that whatever happens, it serves your highest good. Final declaration for Step 8. I am rooted in faith, not shaken by fear. I act as if it's already mine, because spiritually it is. I walk with divine confidence. I no longer chase. I attract. I release control and trust the process. I am the activation code. My faith moves mountains. You don't need to see it to believe it. You believe it, and then you'll see it. In this game of life, your victory doesn't come from chance. It comes from belief. So today, ask yourself not, what do I want? But instead, what am I willing to believe without seeing proof yet? Because the universe isn't waiting for your perfection. It's waiting for your 9. Forgiveness is your freedom. Forgiveness isn't about others. It's about you. It's not weakness. It's not denial. It's a decision to set yourself free. In the game of life, one of the heaviest burdens people carry isn't failure or fear. It's unforgiveness. Unforgiveness locks you in the past. It poisons your present, and it blocks your future. Forgiveness is not about condoning what happened. It's about cutting the cord that's tying you to it. When you forgive, you don't erase the event. You reclaim your power over it. Why unforgiveness hurts you more than them. When someone wounds us physically, emotionally, or spiritually, it leaves a mark. But what keeps the wound open isn't the original pain. It's the replay, the resentment, the story we tell ourselves every day. They hurt me, they owe me, I'll never trust again. And what does that do? It keeps us anchored to the moment of pain. Even if it happened 10 years ago, unforgiveness drags that pain into today. Meanwhile, the person who hurt you may have forgotten, moved on, or doesn't even realize it. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. Forgiveness does not equal agreement. Let's be clear, forgiveness is not saying what they did was okay. He deserved it. I'll pretend it didn't happen. Absolutely not. Forgiveness is saying that I will no longer allow this moment to define or confine me. You are not excusing behavior. You are choosing freedom over bitterness. Because carrying anger doesn't punish them. It punishes you. Emotional detox. Why forgiveness heals you. Your emotions are energy, and unforgiveness is one of the most toxic forms. It clouds your thinking. It hardens your heart. It limits your ability to love, trust, and rise. But forgiveness, it clears emotional clutter. It lightens your soul. It opens the floodgates for love, abundance, and clarity. When you forgive, your vibration lifts. You become a magnet for peace and power. Forgiveness unblocks your life. Have you ever felt stuck? Even when you're doing everything right. You're working hard. You're focused. You're spiritual, but nothing flows. Often, the block isn't in your strategy. It's in your spirit. Unforgiveness creates energetic blocks. Financial blocks, relationship blocks, creative blocks, health blocks. Why? Because bitterness closes your heart, and a closed heart can't receive. Forgiveness is the spiritual key that unlocks divine flow. Forgive others, but also forgive yourself. Many people carry shame silently. They beat themselves up for mistakes they made years ago, opportunities they missed, people they hurt, things they said, but shame is a low vibration. It drags you down. You cannot rise while constantly punishing yourself. So here's the truth. You did the best you could with the awareness you had. You've learned, you've grown, and now you're allowed to forgive yourself. Let go of the past version of you. You don't live there anymore. What forgiveness sounds like. You don't have to wait until you feel ready to forgive. Forgiveness is a choice spoken in faith, not emotion. Here's what it might sound like. I release this pain. I no longer carry the weight of this memory. I let go of the story that they owe me. I cut the cord of resentment. I choose peace over punishment. I forgive them. I forgive myself. I set myself free. Speak it, even if you don't fully feel it yet. Your spirit hears it. Your healing begins. You may need to forgive more than once. Forgiveness is not always a one-time event. Sometimes it's a process. You forgive, then remember, then feel hurt again. You forgive, but the anger rises months later. You forgive, and then hear their name and your heart clenches. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. Each time, return to the choice. I forgive again. I release again. I rise again. Forgiveness is a muscle. With practice, it gets stronger. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconnection. You can forgive someone and still have boundaries. You can release them spiritually without allowing them back into your life physically. Some people are not safe. Some relationships are not meant to be rekindled. And that's okay. Forgiveness is internal. It's between you and your peace, not you and their approval. A simple forgiveness ritual. Here's a practical 10-minute process to begin. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, feel the tension in your body. Notice where you're holding pain. Speak their name or yours. Say, I release you. I release this pain. I choose freedom. Write a letter. You don't have to send it. Let out what hurt you, how it affected you, why you choose to let it go. Burn or tear the letter. Symbolically destroy the weight you've been carrying. End with this affirmation. Repeat as needed. It gets easier each time. Final declaration for step 9. I no longer carry old pain. I release resentment. I release shame. I forgive others, not for their sake, but for mine. I forgive myself, because growth is greater than guilt. I deserve peace. I claim my freedom. I am no longer defined by what hurt me. I am free. I am healed. I rise. You don't forgive because they deserve it. You forgive because you do. You deserve to live unchained. You deserve a clear heart and a clean spirit. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's remembering who you are without the pain. So today ask yourself, what weight am I ready to set down? Whose power am I reclaiming by releasing them? You are not here to be a prisoner of the past. You are here to rise, lead and love fully. Let go, because the next level of your life requires a lighter heart. 10. Gratitude unlocks multiplication. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's the key that multiplies your blessings. When you give thanks, the universe returns more than you ask. Gratitude is the grand finale, the ultimate law that wraps the spiritual game of life into a powerful cycle. It's the force that takes everything you have, everything you've built, and amplifies it beyond measure. If you've been journeying through these steps, you already know, gratitude isn't a casual thank you after good things happen. It's a magnetic energy that calls blessings forward, accelerates growth, and makes miracles multiply. The law of multiplication. Think of gratitude as a seed that doesn't just grow, it duplicates itself. One thankful thought leads to 2 blessings. 2 blessings lead to 10. 10 blessings lead to abundance overflowing. This is the law of spiritual multiplication. The more you are grateful for, the more you receive to be grateful for. And this isn't just poetic, it's practical. Gratitude unlocks the cycle of giving and receiving. Abundance flows through a cycle. Give, receive, be grateful, give more. When you practice gratitude, you are completing the cycle. You are telling the universe, I see your gifts. I honor them. I am ready for more. This opens your heart to receive on a deeper level. And when you receive with a grateful heart, you naturally want to give back, whether it's kindness, service, or resources. This exchange fuels your prosperity, joy, and connection. Gratitude reveals hidden blessings. When you focus on gratitude, you develop a powerful skill, the ability to see blessings in unexpected places. Even in difficult moments, gratitude allows you to spot lessons, growth, or hidden gifts. For example, a challenge may teach resilience. A loss may redirect you to something better. A delay may prepare you for a greater opportunity. Gratitude shifts your perspective from lack to abundance in all things. Gratitude is a daily practice, not a destination. Many people think gratitude is a feeling that just happens, but gratitude is a practice, a discipline. It's not about ignoring hardship. It's about choosing to find the good despite hardship. This is why journaling, affirmations, and daily reflection are essential tools, because they train your mind and heart to prioritize gratitude, and that rewires your entire life. Jenata, how gratitude multiplies your energy. Gratitude is a high vibration. It expands your energy field. It elevates your mood. It strengthens your immune system. It makes you more attractive to people, to opportunities, to miracles. When you live with gratitude, they create stronger relationships, enhance creativity, improve focus, increase resilience, accelerate manifestation. The multiplier effect is real, and it starts with a thankful heart. Practical steps to unlock gratitude multiplication. Start and end your day with gratitude. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Speak them aloud with feeling. Express gratitude to others. Thank people sincerely. friends, family, co-workers. Acknowledging others multiplies joy. Find gratitude in setbacks. Ask, what is this teaching me? Look for the silver lining. Visualize receiving abundance. Feel the gratitude for things yet to come. Give generously, whether time, money, or kindness. Giving activates the cycle. The ripple effect of gratitude. Gratitude doesn't just change you, it changes your environment. Your energy influences your home, your workplace, your community. When you express gratitude, others feel it. They respond with positivity. They create their own cycles of gratitude. Soon you find yourself surrounded by an abundance of goodwill, opportunity, and love. Gratitude is a spiritual accelerator. Gratitude is the fuel for your spiritual growth. It dissolves ego. It opens your heart. It aligns you with divine time. The more grateful you are, the faster you attract the people, experiences, and resources that elevate your life. Gratitude is like a rocket booster for your dreams. Final declaration for step 10. I live in gratitude every day. I see blessings in every moment. I am thankful for what I have and what is coming. My gratitude unlocks multiplication in my life. I give and receive with an open heart. I am a magnet for abundance, joy, and miracles. Gratitude is my power, and through it I rise. You've now walked through the spiritual laws that govern your success, peace, and joy. Each step builds on the last, creating a powerful cycle of creation. Remember, the game of life isn't about chance, it's about conscious creation. When you activate gratitude, fully, daily, deeply, you don't just live life, you multiply it. Thank you for joining this journey through the spiritual laws that shape your life and unlock your true potential. You've discovered powerful truths, from the creative power of your thoughts, to the unshakable strength of faith, to the freedom that forgiveness brings, and finally, the multiplying force of gratitude. Remember, the game of life is not left to chance. It's a game of conscious creation, a game you win by mastering your inner world, activating your faith, and living with intention every single day. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, they are the seeds. Your faith and gratitude, they are the sunlight and water. And your actions, the cultivation. Together they grow the life you've always dreamed of. So step into your power, trust the process, even when you cannot see the outcome. Forgive, release, and free yourself to rise higher. And above all, live in gratitude, because what you thank for, you multiply. Your life is your masterpiece. You are the artist. Start creating your legacy today. If this message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom to fuel your growth and success. And remember, the greatest power you hold is the power to choose. Choose faith, choose love, choose gratitude. Thank you. Keep shining, keep rising.